Hi, I'm Trudy DePasquale and I'm one of the IBI leads. Today I'm going to talk about prompting. And it's no secret that students need a lot of support in the school setting. The level of support will vary from student to student and class to class. This method of teaching helps the student learn the correct way to do something while making minimal mistakes. So what is prompt? Prompting in ABA refers to the level of instruction you give to your student when you ask them to complete a task. This can be a visual, like a card, can be a verbal, or it can be a physical cue. The prompt hierarchy orders the level of prompting based on how intrusive the level of instruction is. The goal is to use the least intrusive strategies whenever possible. As a result of a prompt given, students will perform differently. Different levels of prompts can be used. Which prompt do you use? It depends on the student's level of independence with the certain skill that is being requested. A prompt increases the chances for the person to complete the task correctly. So every trial has a beginning, which is the SD or the command. You have the middle or the response, and the end, like, great job, you did it. The prompts that we will talk about are full physical, partial physical, model, gesture, proximity, receptive, partial vocal, full vocal, and visual. A full physical prompt is considered hand over hand, like example, sit down is the target. So you would say, sit down, and you would guide to the child and help them sit in the chair. Or you could say, give me the green block. You have the blocks here. You could say, give me the green block, and put your hand on their hand, grab the green block, and place it in your hand. The next prompt is partial physical. It's a bit different than the hand over hand. You will partially guide them, but then let them do the rest. Like sit down, but this time only lead them to the chair, sit down, and they sit on their own. Model prompt is exactly what it sounds like. You would say, sit down and sit in the chair, and then the student imitates you. So you would just sit down, sit, and then hopefully they will follow you. Next is a gesture. A gesture prompt would be considered less invasive than a verbal one. For this, you can say, sit down, and then tap or point to the chair, and the student sits. Proximity, that is when you place the target stimuli closer to the student, like the target is a green block, and you put it in a field of 3. You would position the green block closer to the student than the other 2 blocks. Receptive. You can use receptive prompt for expressive target. Example of this is the target is what color. So you can put out 3 colors and say, give me green, or whatever color that you're working on. A partial vocal prompt, if you are working on them saying their name, you could say, what is your name? And then you do the sound of the first letter. Like if their name is John, you would go, what is your name? John. They would say John. Or what do you want? Water. Then you have a full vocal, which would be like, what is your name? John. And then the last one is a visual. When verbal and gestural prompts aren't effective, you can always try the visual prompts. For example, say you're working on what is your name. You can write their name down on a piece of paper and then show them the piece of paper and ask them the question, what is your name? And they'll see it and say John. When beginning a new task, always remember to start with the lowest level of prompts. That is, the student will be most successful on that task. Remember that prompting will help support your student as they learn their task and learn to do it on their own. Then, as your student gets more comfortable with the new skill, you can move up to a less intrusive prompts until your students can perform the task independently. Thank you.